So we're back to Think Like a Cop. Donnie's Talks. This is not the Donnie's Talks portion. This is the Think Like a Cop. Why? Because we're rehearsing how to get down the step through the facet of theater and acting. As I discussed on the last video that I made, this is Live PD Uber Angry Season 2 on A&E. 11.6 million viewers. You can find it on A&E. Okay? So this script right here is, I believe, at least 8 pages, 8 to 9 pages. I do not own the IP in this video. Do not monetize. Actually, yeah, 8 to 9 pages. It ends in 4 minutes and 18 seconds, as you can see there, and it begins right here, as you can see there. All right, so let's talk about it. Let me get into my spiel. Bear with me. I'm a beginner actor, thespian. Kids, don't try this at home. I am a certified professional, but I'm still a beginner in a certified professional way. All right, to you. All right, so 8 seconds into it. This is, I believe, Deputy Graham speaking. I don't remember exactly. But in fact, I think it's Deputy Graham's partner speaking. But we're going to just get into it so there's no confusion and we know exactly what it is. 8 seconds into it. Do me a favor. Put your hands in the window, out the window. Both hands. How many people you got in the car? What's that? You got a gun in the car. God forbid. I do. You do. I do. Do me a favor. Hop out the car, bud. What's the problem? Hop out the car. What's the problem? Hop out the car. What's the problem? Walk this way. You got a gun on you. God forbid. No, it's in my center console. Walk over there to Deputy Graham. Okay, so it's important that we watch the video. We're going to watch the video together and try to get down the whole body language, because everything that these professionals do, they do it for a reason, and they do it the expert way. We're all just in the audience when it comes to this stuff right here. All right, so walk over there to Deputy Graham. Put your hands behind your back. Motion 2, we got him. We got one detained. It's only going to be one occupant. Can you have the complaint meet us over here? What we responded to was a road rage incident. So at this point, the officer's talking to the camera. Okay? Now, I'm doing this not to get views. I'm doing this so my crew, the Young Othello's Drama Club, we can begin to see what it's like a day in the life for somebody that most likely we will never be in the shoes of. We'd most likely more so be in the shoes of somebody like Romeo and Juliet as opposed to this. But when we stretch our imagination, it keeps us from being 2-dimensional. We think more of a broader view when it comes to the understanding of the sacrifices that some people take to protect our lives and to create a livelihood for themselves. So we're into 1 minute and 15 seconds. I guess this guy got upset with somebody. I guess this guy got upset with the way somebody was driving, who possibly cut him off and ended up, I guess, exchanging words, cutting each other off. And he took a firearm, waved it outside the window, and started, I don't know if he pointed it at her, but he was definitely displaying it. He just cut me off, slammed on his brakes for no reason. This is the female explaining what her side of the story was. Okay. And I was like, what the heck? So I slowed down, got into the left lane, tried to go around him. That's when he pointed the gun on me. God forbid. All right. And then I slowed down so that he would get further up. And he pulled over, so I ended up calling the cops to give them his plate number. Okay, can you kind of tell me what's going on, bud? I'm coming down. You're an Uber driver. I am. I'm driving down South 19, and I was passing that woman over in that Kia Soul. And she's sitting on her phone, and she's waving. So I got in front of her, and I just tapped my brake lights. And then she flashed her beams and zipped around me. And was there a lot of traffic around there? And so you got in front of her. You tapped on the brakes a little bit to you tapped on the brakes a little bit to I get it, to kind of like wake her up, say, hey, get off the damn phone. And I actually stuck my phone out the window and I said, like, get off the phone. That's all I did. What kind of phone do you have? It's a Samsung. Samsung. What color is it? It's blue. Blue and black. How would she know that you had a handgun in the car? I absolutely have no idea. Let's pause for a minute. Okay, for God forbid. And let's get into the mind of Deputy Graham. Okay? That's actually pretty smart thinking. You know what I mean? Like, think. What is really the chances of a guy having a firearm in his car when he was just waving his phone? And when you go back in the script, he does admit that he has a firearm from the beginning, okay? Which is why he told him to get out of the car. But if he didn't have a firearm in the car, that would more so lean to he's innocent. But being that he does have a firearm in his car, I would say that the officer is more so reading his body language while he's asking him these questions, because possession is like, what it was, like 2/5 of the law. You know, like if you have it, there's a very good chance that you did it. You know, and your body language generally is a straw that breaks the camel's back, or I don't know. Okay, let's look more into it. I'm not the professional. I'm the student. Let's see what the script has to say, and furthermore. Okay. How would she know that you had a handgun in the car? Because, you know, the lady's saying that he had a firearm in the car. So, you know, if it's a phone, you go. If it's not, I don't know. What's the body language say? I have absolutely no idea. Maybe just to get me in trouble. Now think about it. Come on now. You're driving down the road, maybe just to get you in trouble. Maybe if she knew who you were, but what's the chance of somebody driving down the road wants to get you in trouble if you're waving a phone at them? All right, cool. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge. It's just a little fishy, but let's just see what the script says. Get you in trouble, okay. So that, I mean, I did not brandish anything. So she knew she would know that you had a firearm in the car to get you in trouble. That doesn't make any sense. Listen. I did not brandish my weapon, I swear to God, on 100,000 things in this world. Okay? Okay, and that's why you're detained at this point. Okay, I would never in my life do that. So I found this pistol right here. It's a Glock 19. It's a little too smooth to sit there. I'll set it right here. On top of that, it looks like he's got maybe 100 rounds of ammunition and 3 full magazines. So he's telling me he's been on the road for 10 to 12 hours today. So 10 to 12 hours you've been on the road. You do Uber. Why would you need to be on the road that long to make a day's living? Okay? Usually people clock out after 8 hours. Usually if you're a contract worker like this, you don't even work that much. You just work enough to make your quota and call it a day. But under any given circumstance, what does a person need 100 rounds of ammunition for? Sounds like a trap rap video. Okay? And 3 full magazines. I don't know. Let's just see what it says. I don't want to, put words in anybody's mouth. So he's telling me he's been on the road for 10 to 12 hours today. He's an Uber driver. Oh yeah, he drives. He doesn't do Uber Foods. He drives. Okay. So he's telling me that he had this and he was holding it out the window. I mean, maybe from some distance you could think it's a gun, but that's a big difference between that and this. Right now, it's looking like this guy's going to spend the night in jail. Does this look familiar? Yes. Okay. You think so? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So on top of that sticker, you got a Superman law enforcement sticker. I don't know if this guy just wanted to be a cop all his life and decided to take the law into his hands this one time. But I appreciate the support. But just because you support us doesn't mean that you're above the law. So it leaves off there at 4 minutes and 18 seconds. We did not read the script. I did not read the script, so we could make a joke about this or dissect it from my point of view. The goal in Think Like a Cop is to examine the law from both sides. Now, if your profession is to be a correctional officer, then you're on the right side of the law, but you're on the inside of the criminal justice system. Okay? Standing underneath this, my laptop here, I have this other book, The Police Officer Exam. If this is your profession, okay, be it forensic science, be it dispatcher, be it law enforcement officer, be it park enforcement officer, you're on the right side of the law, but you're on the outside of the criminal justice system. Okay? You're doing your job, you're on the right, but you're on the outside. You're doing your job, you're on the right, but you're on the inside. And then we could look at it from the standpoint of the inmate as we study this book, okay, which is the Correctional Officer's Bible, and as we study this, which is the Law Enforcement Officer's Bible. It says police officer, but think law enforcement officer, okay, if you want to get in, okay. So, and then, interchangeably, rookie year behind bars, etc. So that was just a little practice. This podcast booth is big enough to fit one more person. But I also have, other places where we could do this. And basically, it's just Think Like a Cop. Let's first off, we didn't just read Rookie Year Behind Bars. If we did that, we would go into this. All right, I read the creed. I don't know if there's a creed in here for this. I haven't read this yet. But I've looked at some of the pages in another book that's like this. But I know it does, discuss, the job in detail. Let's see a little bit about. Let's just start from chapter 1, okay? It's not going to really point out too much about what we just read, but it's going to give you a little bit to think about if you're seriously considering a job like this. And I encourage you to, whether I do it or not. I want to be the link to usher people into the right road, because anybody can scare anybody straight. And I've been on plenty wrong paths, and I've been on a few good ones, and I plan to stay on the good ones. And I hope I can bring you along the way if you're watching this. Let's talk about Chapter 1. Signing up, getting screened, and other prep work. The job of a police officer isn't easy. Police officers investigate crimes, arrest criminals, assist citizens in emergencies, collect and secure evidence, write reports, and testify in court. They keep a community safe by enforcing the law. Their job is an important one, so police departments carefully screen job applicants. To land a job as a cop, you have to undergo a lengthy screening process. You must be able to solve quadratic equations and bench press 500 pounds. Okay, we're just kidding. But the screening process to become a police officer does involve passing several tests. The good news is getting a good score on these tests is within reach for most individuals. In this chapter, we will tell you about the screening process to become a police officer. To get a job as a cop in most police departments, you must obtain a notice of examination, or NOE, complete an application, pass a written exam, and a physical ability test, PAT, and undergo a background investigation, or oral board review, and medical and psychological evaluation. But hold on, you're not finished yet. You still have to contend with the police academy. Whether you must do this on your own before the screening process or after you pass the medical and psychological evaluations depends on the city and state where you're applying for the job, etc. In some parts of the country, a police department will pay for you to attend police academy. In other areas, you must enroll in a certified academy at a community college, and you have to pay for the academy yourself. Should you do this before you apply for a job? You could, but keep in mind that some large cities, such as Los Angeles and New York City, still require you to attend their academies, even if you've attended a state-certified academy at a community college. The moral of the story: find out what's required in your city and state before you apply for the job and begin the screening process. But if you're inquiring about this to begin with, I applaud you myself. Pat yourself on the back. You're thinking about doing something that is very earnest and very, very good. Yeah, it takes character, especially when you've had a run-in with the law. When you've had run-in with the law, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. We try to do the right thing and then we fail. We try to do our best and then we fail. We try to do our best and then we fail. We win some and we lose some. That's life. But the fact that you get back up and you still try to do the right thing, or the most that you can do, I can't say that anything's wrong with you. But I can say, see you next time on Think Like a Cop.